Hey everyone, it's Nightlight9, and in this video we're going to go over the new banner with Cloud and Sephiroth, as well as a few other things that people have been asking me about in other videos, so I want to make sure that I cover everything. And I also want to say Happy New Year's Eve. Hopefully everybody's had enough time, to spend with their families over the holiday season and are ready to ring in the new year. I know I certainly am. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to point out is love what they've done with this event as far as how it looks. I think Yuffie looks really nice here, and really like that they've even added a little bit of a tweak to the music. I think that really helps kind of put everybody, in the zone. So what I want to look at here in the exchange shop is Dawn's Prayers. Now, I was on stream with Tick6i9 last week, and one of the things that we were talking about is what would the second R ability be? Because we knew that there was going to be, I don't remember which one, boost physical or boost magical. It showed one of those, but he was like, what do you want the other one to be? And, half joking, but also like very seriously, I said, boost physical defense, let's say, right? Whatever the other one was. And they've given it to us. I am very, very excited about that because I think most people are using these weapons as sub-weapons. The different free event weapons. They're not using them, a lot of times for main weapons. Now, sometimes you might, but for the most part, they're sub-weapons. Having a sub-weapon that gives plus 27 physical defense and plus 24 magical defense, I think is rockstar material. I am very, very excited about that. I don't really care about this right here because, frankly, Umbrella is better. But at OB10, these are great stats. I think this makes this weapon all around very useful for many builds because survivability is a very important thing. I don't want to belabor the point too much, but that's what I think about that. Now, real quickly, before we get into the banner, I do want to take a look at the shop because I've gotten some questions in the past about what I thought about different things. These New Year crystal boosts, I'm not a fan of. I mean, if you're a moderate spender, maybe you can get some value out of those, but I think, my advice would be more towards light spenders, and I would look at these New Year's packs if I was a light spender, which I am, but I mean, I'm not going to be spending on this. I pretty much only buy the monthly pass, but if I was really thinking about making another purchase, I'd probably be looking at this New Year pack 3 here. For 20 bucks, you get 3,200 red crystals and 2 guaranteed, 5-star summons. I think that's pretty good. And then what I'd be purchasing with these 3,200, I think there's a good argument that this legendary pack here is pretty good. It's got 3 different versions of 5-star guarantees as well as a weapon voucher, and weapon vouchers are really good because you get to pick the weapon. I do think if you had 3,000 crystals, this is infinitely better than using them for a 10 pull. However, what I probably would be doing here is saving some of them, buying this pack here, because why not? This pack here for sure, and then this pack here for sure. This is an amazing deal, 300 for 2 plus 10. That's amazing. This is just fine. I would either buy those 2 and save, or buy all 3 of these and save, because they have these 300 red gem things all the time. So if I was going to be spending, that's what I'd spend on. Now let's go ahead and get into the banner. So when we open the draw screen, we are shown the Step Up banner. And as I sort of predicted, the Step Up is paid only. And, that's going to be a bummer for some people, but I wouldn't be too upset about it because that's how it is in like the majority of gacha games. So I'm not really surprised, and I'm just telling you, not to be too worried about it because I don't think there's anything to worry about. However, if you're a spender, this is really good value because normally you're going to get 3,000 red crystals and you're going to use them to do a draw or whatever. Here, these 2 draws alone are 3,000 crystals, right? And so not only are you getting double the value out of step 2 and step 3 that you normally would, but you're also getting these extra bonuses of the 4-star weapon guaranteed and then only 4-star or higher. So at the end of the day, I think this is very valuable to somebody who's paying. But if you're not, I wouldn't personally pay just to be able to summon on the Step Up banner. I don't think it's necessary. All right. Other than that, let's get to the actual banner itself. And I'm going to start with Cloud because he's the man. I think this banner is really, you know, featuring him, and everybody I think that's going to pull is going to pull primarily for him. Flameblade Arcanum, we've been waiting for it. Yeah, I wish it was on Barret or Red. It's not, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. It's on Cloud, and he's a main in most people's lineups anyway, so this is just a no-brainer. We don't have one of these yet. It's on a hero that most people use. I think that makes this a must-pull for Cloud. Sky Splitter here. Let's just go over it really quickly. We'll look at it OB6 because that's where most people are trying to take these weapons. 710% physical fire damage. That'll do. 530 physical attack at OB6. Yes. Materia here. Physical attack boost, X sigil plus count. Awesome. Love the way this weapon is set up. Boost physical attack, was pretty sure that's what would be on there. Boost fire potency, pretty standard. This is just a good weapon. It's, you know, I don't think it's anything like extremely amazing, but I will say that this percentage here on the attack ability is higher than most, which is good. And which, you know, the meta, the power creep, it's been coming. Physical attack, this is pretty standard. This seems a little bit high to me at 530. So I think it's a great weapon, and I'm absolutely going to pull for it. Now, the more controversial one is Sephiroth, and this is where I'm going to make the case for Sephiroth's weapon and garb being, I don't want to say must pulls, but in my mind, a must pull. Okay, so we're going to start with the garb because it's probably less of a hard need, but I'm going to start with that. Fire Mastery, plus 20% fire ability damage. It's obviously not as good as Arcanum, and we all know that. And the last time Sephiroth got some love with the wind, it was the same way, right? The Halloween banner and the Dark Heavens weapon. You know, he didn't quite get that Arcanum, but 20% versus 35. Yeah, it's not as good, but it's still good, right? Like, it's better if you need fire damage. It's better than not having anything to boost it extra. So, okay. Now, Radiant Edge. This, to me, is what makes this a must pull for my account. And for anybody who has Dark Heavens, anybody who wants to use Sephiroth as a main damage dealer or a main anybody in their lineup, especially at DPS route, this to me is a must pull. It not only are we getting him more versatility and more well-rounded with his elemental damage, having fire, wind, ice, but it's also important that your main DPS be able to do both magic or physical, right? Be able to set him up for either one. And we saw that when we got Dark Heavens because it was a physical damage based weapon, and that was a little bit of a problem. So I think moving forward, we are going to have to be able to make Sephiroth do both if we really want him to be the main guy. This weapon kind of solves that, or at least it's a huge step in the direction of solving that. And I'll get into some cons in just a moment, but I want to hit on the biggest pro for this weapon. At OB6, actually, let's just look at OB5, right? Right out of the box, do you notice plus 32 physical attack on an R ability? That is insane. That is insane. It is worth picking up a copy of this weapon, even just for a sub weapon. It's that good at plus 32 for a 5-star. You're not going to see that anywhere else. The other thing that's nice is this physical defense debuff that it gives. Potency mid, right out of the box. Really, really good. Now, the materia slots, these go really well with the weapon. Attack boost fire, plus 30%, yes. Physical attack boost, okay. X sigil break, really good. I have no problem with any of those. Now, as we go to OB6, we'll notice boost physical attack goes to 46. That is insane because at OB10 it's 54. That's just really, really big, obviously. Now, the other thing though to note is that the fire resist decrease, right? The fire breach type ability that this weapon has, the second debuff. At 5-star, it starts out at potency low. I was really hoping it might be potency mid like Bald Eagle was, but that's okay. It stacks to mid, which is not too bad. It's not amazing, but not bad. But if we go to OB6, it just starts out at potency high. That is broken, in my opinion. That makes this weapon freaking amazing. So for one, this is going to be the best fire debuff in the game for probably quite some time. 26 seconds at high potency, that's just amazing. There's nothing else that needs to be said for that. Plus 26 seconds of physical defense decrease, also very good. And a massive physical attack boost. And also the fire potency. The only thing that I would say is the biggest con for this weapon is that right now, Sephiroth doesn't have a single target fired weapon that is physical based. So that's a little bit awkward. If we look at Sephiroth's weapons, you can see here that the only fire damage that he has is going to be on prototype Crimson Blade. And it's magic fire damage, which, you know, unfortunately is not going to work really well with the physical build. So that makes it a little awkward for him. But I still think I'm all about paying it forward. And I think that this is going to be a must pull for me. And I would highly encourage anyone who uses Sephiroth as a main damage dealer to also pull for this weapon. Well, those are my thoughts. I'd like to hear what you guys thought. I know a lot of people said they'd be wishlisting Sephiroth's weapon later and not pulling very hard for it, so I am really interested to know what you're going to do. Other than that, subscribe for future content if you're not already. I appreciate everybody's support, and as always, thanks for watching.